Apple released Face ID for their new iPhones, and it looks like a very interesting technical premise, but could it lead to some issues with privacy and security? Motherboard from Vice talked to a few different security experts about whether or not we should be worried about this or if we should embrace the technology, because with new technology comes new questions and some new legal precedents as well. I mean, in the past we've had some issues with touch unlock even, but with the face it's even easier, so that does present its own unique problems. There are some things you may be worried about, like for instance, could Apple create a unique facial recognition database? Could they use that information for someone else? Could the database be stored with a third party, which is not maybe as secure as Apple or as committed?
Will it work on identical twins? Like if like you're like keeping information from like your twin brother, and he's like, aha, I have the same face. I'm gonna unlock this right now.
I would say if you were a twin, don't use face unlock.
Yeah, right. Identical.
An identical twin. Yeah. If you're fraternal, it might be fine. The thing is, though, we don't know answers to that question because we don't have it yet. There's also the question if someone can make a 3D printed mask and if it would work. My gut is yes, but until we have the phones, it's hard to know.
Here's a very important question. I mean, I'm obviously a pretty badass individual. What if I get into a really bad bar fight? You know, like a typical Tuesday for me, and then like my face is all swollen. I have a bloody nose. I got a black eye. You know, obviously this is going to happen to me because I get into bar fights.
Are you getting
like every other week? You know, like I gotta break the bottle and go after them. Obviously, I'm very good at bar fights. You should see the other person.
Am I if there's?
That's what I'm worried about. Like if I get into a bar fight, will my phone recognize me? Like, oh man, I gotta call someone to pick me up. This is really bad. And then I like try and unlock it. And I'm like, come on, man. Oh, and my face is just too swollen.
The selfie camera utilizes true depth camera system, which is sensors and a dot projector, which should be able to recognize you if you change your hair or if you wear glasses. I don't know what will happen if your face is swollen. There's glass shards embedded in it. We don't know yet. I guess maybe someone will find that out after the phones come out.
My bar fighting days are over, is what this is all boiling down to.
I think they should be for many reasons.
Oh, what?
They were also asking if there are any obvious privacy arguments for moving to Face ID over Touch ID. Should we give Apple the benefit of the doubt? According to them, the Touch ID had a 1 in 50,000, according to Apple, chance of unlocking with the wrong fingerprint, whereas Face ID has a 1 in 1 million error rate. So it seems like along those parameters, it's less unsecure.
When it scans you, can you do a face like a? I mean, and that way, every time you have to unlock it, you have to do that face, because that would be pretty great.
Sensors might be able to put it together.
Oh man, I'm just trying to find loopholes. I'm just gonna get it.
Mess this up,
I'm just gonna get it to see if I can like break the system.
I mean, that's what QA is for.
Yeah. So we gotta go get in a bar fight when this comes out. See if it works. Okay.
So from a legal standpoint, it looks like Face ID is similar to Touch ID. There doesn't seem to be a strong difference. However, there's a big question of whether law enforcement can force you to open your iPhone with your face.
See, that's where the face would come in handy, because I'll be like, oh, it's not working, it's not working. And then like they look away and I'm like, aha, I got it.
Well,
I
mean, it looks like courts disagree on what exactly from what self-incrimination means. So they've ruled that they can't compel you to give up your passwords, but giving up a fingerprint like Touch ID is not a form of testimony. Therefore, it's not subject to Fifth Amendment protections. The same could be argued by your face. As I said recently, from a legal standpoint, the analyses show that face and touch sensor are kind of the same in terms. This is all very murky, is what I walked away with from this. Law enforcement does need a warrant on probable cause to get you to open your phone. However, you could worry about what if they just hold your phone in front of your face. That's a little bit worrisome. And
I'm passed out from a bar fight and they just,
or you're just sitting in the chair and they go, look over here, look over here.
Like, no, no,
no, Fifth Amendment.
I'm not ready for my close-up. No.
The government can compel you to produce passwords and signatures or even blood, but not engage in a testimonial act, which may incriminate you. Under a traditional analysis, you could be required to open your phone with your face because it is not a testimonial act. I think there will need to be many different trial and error cases, unfortunately, to figure out where we are with this.
There's a lot of gray area in that one.
It really is. In 2014, a Virginia judge ruled that police can force people to unlock their devices with their fingerprints. 2 years later, a judge in a district court in California issued a warrant to allow cops to use a person's fingerprint to open an iPhone. Earlier this year, a federal judge in Illinois denied a warrant demanding that everyone in a Lancaster, California building attempt to unlock an encrypted phone with their fingerprint. Wow. I mean, there isn't really a lot of designated answers to this. It's still super murky, and it's probably going to get murkier with the ease of holding a phone in front of someone's face. Maybe if you shut your eyes, maybe if you squint, like Bonnie said, put your hair in front.
Yeah. What if you're like lying in bed and it's really dark and you want to like look at something on your phone and you're trying to unlock it and there's no light and you're like, oh, this is horrible.
Well, you could also enable password.
Shh. I'm too lazy for that. I'm like, unlock.
In iOS 11, you could push the power button 5 times rapidly, and that would disable Touch ID and Face ID. So you could do that if you're in a weird situation where that would be necessary.
Yeah.
I feel like I think this might be a thing with couples outside the legal standpoint, or like if one of them's sleeping, they could be like this and then read their text and stuff.
I didn't even think about that.
Discover some.
Whoa. Oh man.
So yeah,
I was just thinking bar fights. I didn't even think about that.
You were thinking about punching, not discovering someone's secrets, which is what I want to do.
Status. Oh dear. Okay. Not giving you my phone.
No, don't. I wouldn't. As your friend, I wouldn't.
Okay.
Audience, do you think that the Face ID recognition system will be harmful or helpful in the future? Please let us know at Nerd Alert TYT on Facebook and on Twitter.